In this video, we're going to talk about adding your time and going through an actual project task. So on the dashboard, as we mentioned in the previous video, you'll have quick links to do several things that are relative to your schedule for the week. You can clock into a project, a specific task project you've been assigned to, as well as you can navigate using the bottom bar to go through different aspects of the project. So the first thing we're going to look at is the actual ability to clock in right from this main page. So I've been assigned to the con finish install. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the clock in. It's going to ask me which task I'm clocking into. That's the only task I've been assigned to. And what's my labor type? This is finish labor, as it's a finished task. So I'm going to clock in. We'll see right at the top the bar, the blue bar that says clocked in to test project. So that is the project I am accounting for my time against. This is what we're asking everyone to do in addition to the clockify information. Remember, the clockify information is for your payroll, but this information is actually how we bill a client. So now that I'm clocked into the project, I have a couple things I could do. If I click the test project field on the dashboard, that'll bring me right into information about the project itself. We'll dive into this a little bit later with another video. When I back out, that brings me to the projects tab, so I'm going to go back to the dashboard. The other thing I can do is I can click the con finish install, which brings me right into the task. So this is one way of getting in there. I'll go ahead and close this out and we'll go the other way, which is to use the navigation bar at the bottom to click tasks. You'll see obviously the con finish install task, the name of the project right underneath test project, and then the checkbox with 3 that tells us that there are 3 checklist items on this task. So we'll talk about that here right now. So I'm going to go ahead and tap there. You see the same window pops up. So again at the top, con finish install, that is the task I've been assigned. Right now the task is in its new phase. It's not in progress. We haven't done anything. So we're going to go ahead and want to click that and move it to the in progress field. That lets everybody in the office know that the progress on this task has started. Right next to it again, you'll see test project. That's a quick link to the actual project file itself. The effort field is how many hours have been logged against this task, and the due date, if there was one, would be expressed here. So below that is description field. Description is whatever was put in the field by the office to describe what you're doing there today. So this one's pretty simple. Finish install of total system. See installer report for info. Simple 2-day install. Resources are who's assigned. So in this case, obviously, it's just me. But if you were assigned the project, you'd be there. Any team members would also be there. That checklist field at the next section down, that's what I was referring to. See 3 items have been marked off the checklist. So we're going to start trying to use more of this function going forward. If there's specific things that we want to keep top of mind or know that have been checked off, it's just a simple way for us to organize, hey, did these things happen? And you have the ability to check the little box by tapping it. You can even rearrange it by pressing and holding these dots here if you choose to. And you, of course, also have the ability to add more items to the checklist. So just like anybody at the office can do that, you could also do this in the field if there's certain things that you're aware of that need to get done, perhaps for the following day, or perhaps if you're not coming back the next day and somebody else is, as a nice little reminder of things that need to get done. Below this, you'll see the items field. So these are all the items that you should have been handed for the day that you're bringing out. It shows real quick here the top 5. I can just hit the +2 to show all 7 items. And there they all are. And that tells me obviously everything about the information regarding those items and what's coming out the door. So I can go ahead and close this window. You'll see right now it's a little bit of a bug in that it closes everything, but I'll just go ahead and open it back up. So a little minor inconvenience. These products, incidentally, are all in the install status of staged. So normally when these go out the door, these would be in the status of out the door. Again, we're just testing some fields right now, so you should see that a little differently when you're out in the field. Below that is the attachment section. So this is the opportunity for us to equip you with some information that's key to the system. So for instance, I'm going to pull up this floor plan. Now these are not for this particular project, but this does allow you to see in browser here real quick what's going on with these files. You can of course open them up in a larger window, which will open them up in a different web browser depending on the browser you're using. I'm going to go ahead and go back to where I was. I could download this by hitting that button in the top right to my device. I'm actually just going to X out of this and get out of the attachment section. Drawings, if there was interactive drawings here, this is a feature we may use in the future. This allows you to have interactive drawings in the document. And then comments. So comments are pretty useful. This should be the primary place where all communication about a project or about a specific task happens. So for instance, if you needed to tell me, the salesperson in this case, that I goofed up or forgot something, this is better than sending me an email. You could just say @ It'll bring up the list of all the different people you could type to. So I'm going to put my name. We needed a bigger TV, doofus. So comment. So now that is part of the log or the record for this task. I can of course come back and comment on it. So it says whose it's from and whose it's to. That would also alert me in the top of the screen, and that little bell icon when I get out of this window that I have a message waiting for me. That's again a useful area for you to communicate any needs or issues or comments. You can also do photos. So if you tap the little photo icon, you can pick something from your library. You can take a photo, or you can drop a file in here. That's pretty straightforward as well. So entering comments should be pretty static. I don't know that there's much else that needs to be commented there. So the task is in progress. We already clocked in. Let's say we're done. We want to clock out. So I'm going to X out of here. If I go back to the dashboard, you'll see that I'm still clocked into the project. I can clock out of the project. You see that little bells wiggling there at the top, again, because I was mentioned in a notification. So no excuse for people in the office that are mentioned not to be aware. So I'm going to go ahead and clock out from the project by clicking clock out. I can manually edit the time that I've been there. The billable field really is not important at this point because we're not really making you guys track billable versus unbillable time. But finish install, labor type, that was all in for before. For the notes, I can say, what I did. Day 1, walk through with sales and worked on TV location. So there are my notes. I'm going to clock out. And now the project is back to its previous status.